Welcome everyone to the Cult of Chaos, our brand new gaming podcast. Welcome to episode 0, where me and Zuma here are going to be
Hello there.
talking about various different gaming topics. But in this episode, we thought we'd outline how these podcasts are going to run and who we are really, and why we might have any sort of relevance on these topics. So I'll start by saying I'm Cal, Big Donny Cal, streamer man. I play a lot of different games, but mainly chilling on World of Warcraft and Path of Exile, and occasionally dabbling into stuff like Diablo 3, Last Epoch, Lost Ark, Doom, Halo, few other different things on the side. Zuma, bit about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Zoomer. I am also a streamer, although not very active one. And I'm my main game is probably World of Warcraft, and I play a sub-rogue, a subtlety rogue. I have been playing for a while now, ever since Pandaria, but also I play Path of Exile, where I mostly start off with usually chaos builds and occultist, but then I always switch it up to something else. And I also like to play other games, mainly League of Legends or Trackmania. Those are my two off games that I play when I'm not playing WoW or PoE, and I usually sometimes I get the urge to play some single player games. For like currently I'm playing Cyberpunk. Yeah, that's probably all about myself.
So yeah, we've got a pretty solid list of games which we play between us. In those games, we've managed to get a few various achievements over the years. Lately, some of you following me may notice I've secured the first cutting edge in WoW. That's killing the final boss in the highest difficulty before the next tier comes out. Bit of PvP, only really 1800 level. Got that a couple times in arena, and PoE. I've done a little bit of managed to fully clear all the league challenges in a league, not even with 1,000 hours played, which some of you might be like whatever, but to me I'm gassed about that. And getting all the Uber bosses as well as part of that challenge was very, very fun. But I do like to sort of occasionally push myself to go for some of these big grinds and big challenges. It's not always big skill ones as well. Some of it is just sitting there and grinding all the time, like going for the insane title in World of Warcraft. And yeah, there's mostly just sort of type of big achievements I get in games. What about yourself, Zuma?
For me, my biggest achievement was probably on private servers in WoW. That was on a private server for Warlords of Draenor, where I did cutting edge on High Mold and cutting edge on Blackrock Foundry, where I killed both mythic final bosses. Then I quit private servers for a while, and then I started playing well on Shadowlands, but that's not the point now. For PoE, my biggest achievement is probably reaching 1000 depth in Delve, which is not really hard to do. Also, I killed almost all of the Uber bosses as well. I am missing Uber Maven and Uber Exarch. Not Exarch, Elder, sorry. And yeah, in other games, for example, League of Legends, my biggest achievement is reaching rank Emerald, which is a fairly like mid-tier rank. But I mean, yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention in WoW, in PvP, I have on retail, which is the biggest part. I reached 1.9k rating, so it's not really that much, but I'm usually around 1.8, 1.9k because I don't really find time or people to play with when I have time.
Gotta do whatever we gotta do to get them sets, am I right?
Hell yeah.
But speaking of some other rankings as well, as I mentioned earlier, I do like to dabble in a good bit of Diablo 3, and I've had multiple seasons in global top 100s for Necromancers. Albeit it was at the earlier part of the season, but still, it's happened a good few times. Yeah, I can't really think of many other things outside of that. I don't play much ranked games these days. Are you much of a ranked player, Zuma?
Mainly in League I was, but I quit Ranked League when I kinda quit like all games during that time because of school.
Yeah.
But and then I never returned to grinding ranked in League. In WoW, I usually just play shuffle or twos with one or two guys, but that's not really on a high competitive level.
Yeah.
The biggest competitive edge I had was in speedrunning, where I was a top 50 Undertale speedrunner.
Oh,
But
damn.
that's old news. Old news. It was. Now I don't think I can get in the top 1000.
I don't know, man. Maybe you just give it a spin and take your own spot, you know?
I mean, there's a lot of bugs in that game that I cannot exploit because it's just too complicated to get into.
Yeah, fair enough. So, as we'll be discussing many of these games on the podcast, you know, I thought we'd briefly in this episode cover some things like we really like and really dislike in the various games. Have you got any really big likes and dislikes between your games, Zuma?
Yes, I dislike Mythic Plus system.
I will take my hat off for that one. I fully wholeheartedly agree and support this I was about to say opinion, but I would love to say it's objectively true, you know? Let's get rid of Mythic Plus. New campaign. Get it out.
I mean, the current Mythic Plus I hate. The one we had back in Legion and BFA I fucking love.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it real. Mythic Plus until like end of Shadowlands was so fun. And then since end of Shadowlands, it's been yeah, that is now firmly cemented as a dislike system for WoW for me. I always dread coming back to that. But man, going into raids, especially when like the bosses are pretty decently complex, that I always find fun. Part of the reason.
Well, you don't have that much currently because the final boss and Mythic died in less than 100 pulls.
Yeah,
it's not really complex, dude. This raid is a joke.
Yeah. So yeah, that's you know, that's kind of now moved into the dislikes for now, but hopefully next season they run it back, you know. What I love
is the design of mounts and the transmog that we get each season. Like, not everything is good because, for example, Warrior this season is kind of very bad, but something like a Death Knight, the Death Knight set looks amazing.
There's always going to be winners and losers, but like regardless, there's that much cosmetic loot built up over the years that there's most likely going to be something for you. Which what I think WoW does pretty well.
Yeah.
Another thing I do love and hate at the same time as well as PvP. Like, you know, it's so fun getting together, really tryharding and securing a big W in the arena. But then you see stuff like Beast Mastery Hunter, which just comes out skillless, brain off, and there's no counter, and GG, you lose because the BM Hunter is disgusting. I think WoW could definitely balance some stuff a bit better alongside that.
I am 100% with you on that. Like, BM hunters and hunters in general, just a pain in the ass to deal with. I'm sorry to any hunter viewers, or listeners, but you are just playing the easiest class in the game.
Yep. Though there is one thing I can definitely give you credit for, and that is a hole in one of my monitors. Congratulations, guys. You got the best of me. PoE. I'm definitely a big fan of the bosses in PoE. That's always been my go-to thing. Whenever we get a new league, I'm rushing those bosses. You're more of a delve guy though, aren't you, Zuma?
I really love delve, yes, but currently with the builds I was running, I am not really into delves.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really go into delves. I reached like 400 depth and then I quit because I swapped the builds to a more mapper slash boss killer build. But then yeah, the bosses are amazing. Like there is not one bad boss in PoE. I think maybe
Agreed, man.
the worst boss, which is also very good, is Exarch, for example, for me at least.
Yeah. And I feel like with Exarch, like, once you've gotten the hang of, let's say, summoning skeletons as fodder to get rid of the bulls in the arena, then, like, the frustration which would initially make you think, oh, this fight sucks, it is way too difficult, like, all of a sudden it actually becomes quite an enjoyable fight. And yeah, GGG just know how to make a boss fight. Even their small boss fights, as part of league mechanics, let's say like the Black Knight with the Settlers of Kalka, which gives you all of Elysium when you kill him.
Yeah.
He's just a little fight which appears every now and then in your maps, but he's pretty fun to fight. Very, very fun.
Also in Settlers, the pirate, when you lose your ship,
Yeah.
and you need to rescue them, the pirate fight is amazing. It's challenging a little bit, and it has a big health pool, which in some games I hate having bullet sponges, but in PoE it's actually more challenging that way because the mechanics aren't inherently that hard that you would die to them, but with it taking so long, you lose your flask charges and you need to rely on your dodging skill and just everything around it.
100%, man. Unfortunately, I've not really gotten to play any of the endgame bosses of PoE 2, but like, definitely, I gotta say, the end of act bosses in PoE 2 were very well designed. Albeit, Doriani was a little disappointing. I felt it was a little bit easy and underwhelming for, like, the most reputable name in the campaign as an enemy. And, you know, the last boss we were facing in early access, but...
I mean, it's not only in PoE 2 that he's very prevalent. Like, Doriani is very much in PoE 1 as his items are in, and around the story he's there.
Exactly.
Because he is one of the last emperors of the Big Val Empire, no?
I think he wasn't an emperor. He was like the Val architect. Like, he was the brains behind Val civilizations. But yeah, no, he wasn't quite like, I think Atziri was like the only empress we know of.
Back to PoE 2, what I currently don't like is that we have so little to do.
Yeah.
Like, in PoE 2, if you bought the early access, I'm sorry if you bought that. I tried making some builds. Some of them are good, some of them are, well, other garbage, but it's mostly because I don't really know how to build them.
Yeah.
And yeah, for PoE 2, the current, for example, if you build a chaos dot build, you don't have enough gems, you don't have enough like damage, and like overall like everything for it.
Yeah. It
I
like
cannot wait for the current new 0.2.0 because then I heard that they are only adding the Huntress though and
yeah.
some skill gems for her. But I don't care. I'm gonna try her out if she has a good like poison build, which I would
Yeah.
really like.
Yeah. I think at that like that's bringing me up to a dislike though. Launch dates. I swear, last Epoch is at the launch date start of April for months, and then GGG a few weeks ago were like, yeah, we're gonna go launch our league like 2 days after last Epoch. And I also know Blizzard do similar stuff. Like they will start a new season usually at like the end of holidays, or in competition with their own other game modes of World of Warcraft. Like we'll get a new classic raid and we'll get a new retail raid, and it's like, well, I'm picking one or the other. That I
Yeah.
can't play it all this time around. It feels like a lot of companies do this, and it's just not a good look, I'd say.
I mean, if we are getting Pandaria at the same time as we get Midnight, then I'm just not buying it. I'm just
Yeah,
going for Pandaria.
yeah, like genuinely, it would be criminal to midnight sales if both drop at the same time. I think a lot of people would be very content with sticking with Mr. Pandara, as we know that's a good expansion, and well,
You have some
yeah,
outliers that hate MOP because Pandas, but that's like a lot of people quit in MOP
yeah,
because of Pandar because it was Pandaria.
yeah,
I mean, I kind of agree. If we got, I agree with Asmongold for example here. If we got Mist of Pandaria as WOD, it would be the rank one expansion,
yeah,
no doubt.
yeah, yeah. No, I like I'm with you. Like, Mr. Pandora development mentality in Warlords of Draenor, like unrivaled for the best expansion to have ever
Yeah,
existed. And I think like, see, there, in my opinion, with WoW, and I'll only cover this briefly, as I don't want to go too much on a tangent here. But there were three golden expansions. It was Mists for being like having the best class design in the game, having some pretty good storytelling, and overall just feeling amazing to play. Then there was Warlords, which sort of didn't come off as well with class design, but was still very good. Had some amazing raids, also Mop did as well, I should mention. Um, and had some absolutely incredible storytelling. I think I still go back to Frostfire Ridge to level most of my characters just because the storytelling is so good there. And it had amazing lore. Just the only thing that brought that expansion back was the content drought and things being scrapped for a movie. Then you had Legion, which, need I say more, incredible story, really cool class design. Artifacts were very fun initially. If you know, ignore people's usual hesitance about the artifact power grind, which, to be honest, wasn't even that bad. But yeah, no,
yeah. I mean,
I'd always say that's like the golden trio of WoW expansions.
yeah, you're right. With Legion, I was kind of like trying out because I still sometimes log into private servers because
Yeah,
I really love revisiting old expansions. And with Legion, I thought I was afraid it's going to be nostalgia glasses.
yeah,
Like it was so good back in the day, but it's not. Like I played on a server called Felsong.
yeah,
It was made by the two like most like not like top four and top five of the private server companies.
yeah,
Like those two made the Legion server, and it was amazing. Like you had some balance changes that are not exactly as Blizz like, so it was different, but the boss fights and everything were the exact same. And I remember I every raid was amazing. The artifact power wasn't really an issue if you just logged in every day and did your dailies. And
Yeah.
if you want to really grind it out, yeah, you can do dailies and then just spam mouse source too. But then
Yeah.
it's just a grind and you get burned out really fast. But if you just log in for the dailies, you will never be behind.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Anyway, I want to move on to our next. Well, we were gonna have another topic coming in here, which as we titled, we have a little document to go off of, so we know we're gonna, how we're gonna structure these. And
Yeah.
this final topic was, what will we discuss in podcasts? And I think we've kind of just demonstrated that pretty well in like the last 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like what will we discuss? Just roll back 10 minutes from the podcast.
Yeah. Press left arrow a few times, and yeah, that's sort of how things are gonna go. We are gonna be talking a lot about various features in different games, like what we're thinking on the topics. Probably reminiscing quite a bit in the past, as we have played for a very, very long time in each of our respective games. We are aiming to vary it up, so this isn't just going to be like a WoW podcast or a PoE podcast. We do want to occasionally bring in discussion of other games. If you're ever curious on what topics we aim to be talking about, probably we could discuss it in Discord and then preemptively put up like, oh hey, today's topic we're going to be talking about I don't know, World of Warcraft's Arena World Championship, something like that. And then I think if anyone wanted to let us know what they want to hear about, of course, having suggestions always welcome. But we'll try and keep things mixed up quite a bit. We want something for pretty much everyone, I'd say.
Yeah, and I'm gonna buy Last Epoch, and yeah.
Hell yeah.
For the next expansion, I really don't see why people would just go for Last Epoch if there's PoE, but I want to give it a shot, a fair shot.
Yeah, man. Like,
so we will have one more game in common that we play together, that we can talk about on a podcast.
Exactly. So pretty soon you might see a Last Epoch episode coming out before the season or something. But yeah, I think that could be a wrap for our episode 0.
I would like to tease a little bit.
Okay.
I would like to give a topic for episode 1 maybe. If this is the episode 0, we can give a little what are we gonna talk about, and I would advise everyone to go back to when we talked about WoW, because it's probably going to be WoW for the first episode.
Yeah.
I don't know what the main topic will be, but it's probably going to be WoW related.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we'll definitely get early stuff on our main games, of course.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Expect some WoW content to start us off, and yeah. Now
that's it.
Yeah. Well, thank you all guys for listening to our episode 0. We'll get into things properly in the episode 1. Today's episode, we just wanted to introduce to you the concept of our podcast. And yeah, I hope you end up enjoying it. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you guys. And see you guys next time.